Hello everybody, Mr. CCDV here. We're going to be doing shrimp scampi today. Just letting that shrimp defrost real quick. Yes, I buy frozen shrimp. I live at 7,000 feet elevation, about 400 miles from the coast, so fresh shrimp is not an option for me, but the individually frozen shrimp, that's the way to go. I'm letting it defrost right now. There's a reason for that. We need to clarify some butter. Now, the last time I clarified butter, I did it in the microwave, and that did it just fine. That was for chicken piccata. We're actually doing shrimp scampi, in which we actually have to fry the shrimp in the butter. So I need to do the butter correctly, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. First thing we do, always, wash your nasty hands. Now, I have a pound of butter on the stove. And what we're doing here is we're taking this pound of butter, tossing it right in the pan. Heat that sucker until the butter melts, and we'll turn the fire down.
Hi everybody, I'm Butter. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm reducing myself down to 3 components. There's butter oil, and there's butter solids, and then there's water. What we're doing now is getting rid of the water and the butter solids, so that all that's left is the butter oil. Now that's real important, because water will screw up your frying, I tell you what.
Now you see how it's bubbling up there, right? That is the water evaporating out of the oil. If I move this butter solids back a little bit, you'll see it's still a little cloudy. It's not quite clarified yet. But you see those bubbles boiling up. That is actually the water evaporating out of the butter. So that is what we're looking for. Once that's done, we know we're ready to start filtering. Alright everybody, here we go. It's been on for about 20 minutes now, and you see it's reduced from here all the way down to here. That is a lot of water that's been taken out of the butter. If you look very closely, you can see the bottom of the pan. Now, what I have here is a filter with a coffee filter inside of it, and all I'm going to do is just pour this in there and wait for the oil to go through the filter. It will not let any of the butter solids go through. Now that's going to take a while, so let's go ahead and fill this sucker up. You see all those butter solids that got stuck to the bottom of the pan. That's going to be a lot of cleanup, but we're going to let it soak for a while first. Now you see all that? That is all pure butter oil. No solids, no water. That is not going to burn when we use it to cook the shrimp with. That is going to be absolutely beautiful. Now, when I showed you how to do it in the microwave, yes, it separated the oil and the water from the solids, but it did not evaporate any of the water. This evaporates all the water, so there is no burning that's going to happen when we use this. Now, the smoke point is still lower than vegetable oil, but we're not turning the heat all the way up on this one. We're not frying chicken or anything like that. We're just cooking the shrimp, and it's going to taste real good, real rich and real savory. It's going to taste great. Alright folks, we are ready to start making shrimp scampi. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start with heating up the pan. Now this is very important because heating up the pan is actually one of the most important things you can do when you start cooking. And Panny will actually explain why.
Hey everybody, I'm Panny. Hello. Mr. CCDV, thank you very much for allowing me to speak here. Now, when you come from the factory, you know, you look beautiful, right? I mean, no scratches or anything like that. But at the same time, if you look microscopically, you see cracks. And that just happens. That's just the way it is, alright? We come from the factory with cracks in it. Alright, now, here we are, and we're heating up myself, so that when Mr. CCDV puts in the oil, it'll fill in all them cracks. Now, the heat of the oven will open up my cracks, and that oil will be able to get down inside my cracks and allow me to release the proteins as they cook. Now you gotta get a hot pan with some cool oil, and you throw that cool oil into a hot pan, and I guarantee it's gonna be all right. Now, back to you, Mr. CCDV. Thank you very much for allowing me to explain the difference between a hot pan and cool oil.
Well, thank you, Penny. I appreciate that. Now, we've let this heat up for about a minute and just some change, while Penny was explaining. And you see the clarified butter. You see the bottom of the container there. Now I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of clarified butter. And you see how that covers the bottom of the pan perfectly. That is absolutely beautiful. That's what we're looking for. Now, what I have here is shallots. You see how the butter is not smoking. Now this is a hot pan, a very hot pan.
You can tell by the fact that when he put the first scoop of oil in there, it sort of retreated.
So I'm going to turn this down to a medium heat. And I'm going to put the shallot in there. This is fried shallots. You want to let this go for about 7 minutes till it's translucent. You can't see through it, but translucent is the way to think about it. There you go. Now we're cooking the shallot. Oh, that smells beautiful. I wish you could smell that. I really do.
Wish I could smell it.
So we got the shallot going, and we're running that butter all over the pan, getting that sucker coated real nice. Now, we've let that go for about a minute now. It's time to start adding the shrimp. Here's the thing about shrimp. It's defrosted, it's shelled, it's deveined. There's no vein in there, there's no shell on it, there's no tail on it either. But again, that's frozen shrimp, and you got to deal with what you got. And what I got is frozen shrimp that doesn't have a vein. You see where the vein used to be. And no shell, no tail. So I'm going to go ahead and lay these in here. Now you don't want to overcrowd the pan, so I may have to do this in 2 batches. But I've got all the shallots in there, and I've got the heat turned down so it doesn't overcook. Now with these shrimp, because they're small, you only want to do 1 minute on either side. Ow! I burned myself. You only want to do 1 minute on either side. You don't want to go over that 1 minute. You go over that 1 minute, and it'll toughen up that shrimp. I've got the I've got my plate set aside so I can separate these afterwards. You see how the shallots are browning. That's beautiful. That's perfect.
Now, Mr. CCDV, you said don't overcrowd the pan, so I'm curious. How is this not overcrowding the pan?
Well, you see, each specific shrimp has one side down toward the heat. So, once I flip those over in 1 minute, we are going to have perfectly cooked half of the shrimp. Once I turn those over and let them cook for another minute, be perfectly cooked shrimp. I'll remove them from the pan and I will do the remainder of my cooking demonstration. Now, while that is cooking, you see how it's turning red while it's cooking, right? Is that beautiful or what? You see the tail starting to turn red there? That is what we're looking for. That is exactly the reason that we turn the heat down so that it's medium-low heat. You do not want to overcook the shrimp. If you overcook the shrimp, they turn tough and rubbery. You don't want that, especially for shrimp scampi. Now, what do I have over here that is going to make everything better? Ah, there it is. White wine. This is Chardonnay. You see, I have the backside to you, so because I'm not
Not sponsored.
but I do like Kendall Jackson. Just FYI. I will show you how to. Actually, I need to flip the shrimp over here real quick. Here. Hold on. Flip the shrimp over.
Oh, that smells fantastic.
There you go. One shrimp at a time, yes, but it is totally worth it. Take your time and do it right.
As with most things.
Never going to be disappointed with the end product. Look at that. Oh, those shrimp are looking beautiful, aren't they?
Oh, they're smelling even better.
There you go. Let's get these in the middle turned over real quick and I'll show you how to open a bottle of wine properly. I learned this from a sommelier in culinary school.
I didn't know you worked with those guys.
Oh yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, a sommelier is basically a wine professor.
I actually thought about becoming a sommelier. So, get yourself a really good corkscrew. Very good corkscrew. Now, you've got a little tiny blade on the end that is specifically for cutting the foil or paper off the top of the wine bottle. Cut that sucker right off. There you go. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Flip the blade closed. Pop open your corkscrew and your lever. And you want to drive that corkscrew right down through the middle. Now, a sommelier will actually have a towel over his arm and a little plate set aside. So I will pretend to do the right thing. There we go. And a little towel, and a little plate. Set the plate down in front of your customer and you flip the lever down so that you got some leverage there. Now, what you want to do is you want to pull that cork out, but you don't want to pull it all the way out. You want to pull it out to about 7 7/8 of the way out of the bottle. And then you want to fold your hand down and you want to just twist slightly so that you hear that little s without hearing the poop.
But the pop is the best part.
Alright. And then you take your wine glass and you set that down in front of your customer and you pour 1 ounce. There you go, 1 ounce. Well, you take the cork off the screw and you set it on the plate. That way, the customer can pick up the cork and smell the vintage. If they're a freaking wine nerd. I drink wine. I drink a lot of wine. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and have myself a great big glass of wine.
Hey, Mr. CCDV, don't you think it's about time to take these particular shrimp off the...
That sounds like 6 ounces.
Don't you think it's about time to take these off the pan?
It is, in fact. Look at that. Are they not beautiful? Look at that. They are perfectly cooked, aren't they? Let's go ahead and get these suckers off of here. And we will put the rest of the shrimp on to cook. Let's get that heat turned up a little bit so we have a little bit to work with. Look at that. Look at that. You still got the shallots in there, making all the flavor. Yum. Okay. Got good stuff going. Let's go ahead and put the rest of these in here. There you go. We'll set those aside. Turn the heat up and get those suckers cooking.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Now what we got here is the final bit of shrimp cooking. Alright. We got 1 minute to go. Let me show you the other ingredients that are going to go into this. Now, we have garlic, which I used the garlic press to do. Now, I set this one piece of clove aside so that I could show you exactly what that looks like. And I'm going to have to use this to get it off because I put my knife away already. So, all that garlic pressed right through here. That's going to be absolutely beautiful to use in the sauce once we're done cooking the shrimp. Let's go back and flip the shrimp over. You don't want to overcook this, and I did turn the heat up. Let's turn it back down now, actually.
Always remember, never overcook shrimp.
Now, if you're doing a gumbo, you can let it boil for a long time. That'll take care of the connective tissue inside the shrimp. However, in this case, we're just doing a real quick down and dirty cook of these suckers. We're making it look and taste good. Don't think I missed one. Yeah, we're good to go. There. Alright. Now, let that go for a couple more, about 30 more seconds here. Now, let's get back over here. I have some lemon zest. Now, I have a rasp that is specifically for lemon zest. So you just scrape it back and forth. Allow that lemon zest to come off of there. You've got oils and you've got flavors and smells that are all coming off of that lemon zest that are absolutely essential to the overall flavor of your dish. Now the other thing we're going to do, you see I've cut off the end of the lemon. We're gonna squeeze that lemon to death.
Only the lemon juice. We do not need those dirty seeds or any of that pulp.
That is correct. We're gonna get the lemon juice out of this sucker, and we are gonna make it taste real good. Alright. Now, those lemons, or those, this lemon is done for. Those shrimp are ready to come off of the heat. Now, look at that. Is that absolutely gorgeous? Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and get those out of there. Now, the cool part, we have perfectly cooked shrimp right there on the plate. We have perfectly cooked shallots in the pan. Let's turn that sucker up to high. Get that sucker going. And we will deglaze the pan with 1/4 cup of wine.
Of not sponsored Kendall Jackson
Now,
wine.
You can use grape juice, you can use water to deglaze a pan, but I like to use 1/4 cup of wine. 1/4 cup. Yeah, that should be enough. We're gonna scrape the bits off the bottom there. Oh yeah. There you go. Now, we let that wine reduce just a little bit. And by just a little bit, I mean nearly dry. Now, if you're worried about alcohol, the alcohol is actually going to boil off as it reduces.
As is the principle of cooking with wine. Okay.
Now, we've deglazed the pan. You're not going to get any alcohol in the dish. It's all going to boil off. And we're going to reduce this down to a degree that we can work with. While we're doing that, we're going to add Italian spices. We're going to wait on the garlic until we got it off the heat, but we're going to use the lemon juice and the lemon zest. And we're going to unwrap the whole butter, and I will show you exactly what we're going to do with the whole butter as soon as that wine reduces. Doing a beurre blanc. That is a butter sauce. Doesn't take that long. And trust me, the beurre blanc is worth it. So once we add the shrimp back to it, once we add the garlic back to it, oh, this is going to be one heck of a good shrimp scampi. We got a little bit of evaporation to go yet, but while we're doing this, I am going to add the salt and pepper.
The two most important spices in the kitchen.
Salt. Nothing tastes right without salt. Sorry, I mean you can use Mrs. Dash, you can use whatever other fake salts there are.
But we all
salt.
know that salt is the best.
Salt is the only thing that actually makes things taste better.
Did you notice how it bubbled up when you put it in there?
Uh-huh. Now, for this particular recipe, I use white pepper. Why do I use white pepper? I could use black pepper, it would be the same thing. White pepper is a little bit hotter, but the main reason I use white pepper is so it doesn't discolor the sauce. And I just use 2 dashes of the white pepper.
Because discoloration would put people off from wanting to eat it. apparently.
Ah, there you go. All right, here we go. Are we ready? We turn that heat to low, and we start putting in one chunk of butter at a time.
The one chunk of very melty butter.
And while we're doing that, circulate the pan until that one chunk of butter is just about melted. Throw in the second chunk of butter. Turn the heat up a little bit. Alright, you see how that sauce is already coming together. Now you gotta be careful, because that sauce will break in a heartbeat if you're not careful with it. You go ahead and throw in the third chunk of butter. Now remember, what is this called, Digit 11?
Beurre rouge.
Beurre rouge. That means butter sauce with white wine.
You can remember it by thinking of Winter and that one Sonic character. Even though I always thought her name was Rogue, apparently it's Rouge with an L.
Rouge one. Alright, all of our ingredients are incorporated.
Except the garlic.
And I've turned the heat off. There you go. Look at that sauce. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful.
Now we add the garlic. The heat is turned completely off.
Then, and only then, is when you add the garlic.
That way it does not harden while it cooks. Now, garlic has a tendency to harden if you're trying to cook along with it. Now we will add all the shrimp back into it. And we are tossing it along with the sauce. Oh my goodness, look at how beautiful that looks. That is shrimp scampi right there, the kind that I would want at a restaurant. And I never I always get the liquidy stuff that doesn't actually look all that tasty. Oh my goodness.
Still tastes relatively nice, doesn't it?
Toss the one out, there you go. It still tastes alright. I found that a lot of restaurants are using microwaved. Well, the dog's gonna love that one. They're using, and the dog's gonna love that one. I used to be better at this. There you go. The restaurants I've been to tend to use microwaved or pre-packeted food, which unfortunately does not turn into something that good. So, let's go ahead and throw a couple of these on the plate here. The rest is for Digit 11. Grab a fork. I'm still in the middle of remodeling my house. Yes, ignore all the different colors of paint and stuff. Let's go ahead and take it. Wow. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna take a couple more of these.
And with that, everyone, you now know how to bake shrimp scampi. Ingredient list down in the description, and if I feel so inclined, maybe some instructions that you can read. But then again, I've got a long couple of weeks ahead of me trying to animate these buttery and panty parts.
Folks, thank you for paying attention. I'm gonna finish this. So, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I hope you enjoy the shrimp scampi once you're actually able to make it yourself. This is amazing. I'm so happy I made it. I'm so happy that you guys enjoy my cooking videos. Click the subscribe and share and hit the bell button to make sure that everybody gets to see these next cooking videos and so on that are coming out later on. I appreciate it, everyone. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to watch this video. I appreciate it, and I will see you all later.